Well, we're going to need this. And that's all we need for today. Well, one thing I do know for sure, I've definitely done this in the wrong order. I've obviously just had to unwire everything to allow me to lift the track. So while I'm doing this, a few little things that I want to talk about, mainly about the hobby itself. I've been watching a few videos lately and there seems to be a lot of talk about the possibility that the hobby might be dying. I think that's quite far from the truth. I think there's a mixture of things involved with it. I don't think the hobby's dying. What I do think, cost involved, I think has a lot to do with it. Obviously we've all heard about the Hornby's latest announcement with the price increases starting in, I think it was September they said it was. I'm not going to go into that too much because obviously other people have gone into it with much more knowledge than I have. But it does beg the question sort of what's going to happen in years to come. Now another factor I think that plays a big part is having the space available for a layout. You look at all these layouts of YouTubers and things like that and they're enormous layouts. Usually a lot of them are loft layouts and things like that. Hence the reason for sort of a big inspiration for this video series of the modular layout that we're currently working on. I want to prove to people that you don't need a 20 foot by 10 foot tail chaser. You can have an end to end this size, or you can do what I'm doing and put 4, 5, 6, as many boards as you want together and make it as long as you want. It's all about compromise. Everyone seems to have in their head automatically that, oh, well, I ain't got a spare loft, I don't have a spare bedroom, I can't do it. Well, truth is you can do it. Another factor I think is to be time. I'm sure a lot of you watching this have got layouts at home that were not built in a matter of weeks or even months. Layouts, especially big ones, if you're that kind of person, you want that big layout, can take years and years to build. But again, that's all part of the fun, isn't it? It's part of the process. You're learning new skills while you're doing it. There seems to be, this year anyway, there seems to be a lack of model railway shows. I love going to model railway shows. Me, my uncle and Alan, we all go together as a group. I was just saying to my uncle the other day, I've not seen any advertisements for any shows apart from the one we just went to, which was at Frising Hall. It wasn't an overly big show, it was a good show, don't get me wrong. We've all heard Wally. Well, they're not doing it again. Now Wally are doing a show, but it's Wally's actual club, which is not the same Wally as probably you lot know. Well, I never went to Wally. My uncle's been, but when you say Wally, you imagine this absolutely gigantic show, which is just out of this world and such a good experience. Well, that's not happening anymore, I'm afraid. So Wally Club have announced that they're doing a show. It will be nowhere near as big. Hopefully it will be just as enjoyable. Do I think it's dying? I don't think it's dying. It does cost a lot of money. One thing I will say, make sure you buy from somewhere you can trust, like for second-hand stuff like Rails of Sheffield, Bachman. I've just made an announcement, well I say just, they announced a couple of months back I think it was now, a new tool 08, and then just recently they announced the price. If you want a DCC sound fitted deluxe model, which the deluxe allows the capability of automatic uncoupling, so an uncoupling shuffle sort of thing. But if you go to back menu, paying 350 quid, I'm afraid. Will I get one? I absolutely will be getting one. I hope that this series really does show, like I say, you don't need that gigantic layout. I did say this is all we need for this video, right? Start setting some track down now. When I'm putting any sort of glue around any point work, staying way clear of any sort of moving parts for the switch rails and stuff. That's the last thing we need. So about the discussion we had before, I've not done this to start a war or to start arguments or anything like that. It is just my opinion, and if you've got an opinion, feel free to leave it in the comments below, or if there's anything you maybe want to hear me talk about, or you want to hear my point on, please again feel free to drop it below. But do me a favour, one small favour that I do ask, let's keep it PG, because I do know there's kids that watch this. I know for sure Dylan will be watching over at Dillington. By the way, Dylan, keep up that stop motion work, because it's brilliant. And there is going to be a running video soon as well. It's something my uncle mentioned to me. I've not done a running video on board one. Well, now this can be lined up perfectly to it. A running video will be coming pretty soon. I'm trying to leave a bit of a gap between the rails where the fish plates are, just because with the extreme weather that we keep getting, the heat, the rails expand. I know you know all this, I'm just saying it. Everything wired back up, a little bit of cable management. Let's get this weighted down. This is where magazines, railway magazines, come in handy. Of course, the ballast tubs as weight. Can never go to a show and not come home with a tub. Well, there we have it. Corks down, glued, tracks laid, glued. If you enjoyed this video, bit of a different concept with a bit of a discussion, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next Wednesday.